Hello, here's a quick video showing you how the Coach Jack Plans module works. If you went through the recommended process, these values will all be set for you. Jack will choose a plan for you, set your start hours, do a suggested ramp rate. What we'll look at here is we'll change our start hours to, let's say, 4.3. First thing to start out with is make sure your start hours are approximately what you're doing today. Could be a little more, could be a little less. You don't want to make a huge jump, at least up, because your training stress will be too high. Now, if you're more than 4 months out from your peak period, generally it's recommended to maybe take a base period or take an easy period, or, but if you really want a hard winter, or, you're coming in here and wanted to do something hard, then you can treat it more as a build period. And during a build period, you're increasing the intensity of your workouts, you're doing harder and harder workouts, as well as increasing the time. And that will maximize your performance at the end of that 4 months, let's say. And that's approximately 4 months. Some people might hit a peak in 5 months. Most would be between 3 and 4 months. So you have your start hours set, and then you do your ramp rate slider. So like I said, if you want to do a build period and you're ready to increase your hours, for a lot of people, that's best to start in mid to late January. But if you really want to start it now, you can. If you're not ready to, then you can keep this ramp rate slider at more around 3, so that you just have kind of weekly variations. And these weekly variations actually create stimulus in themselves and will actually create improvement without increasing your hours and without increasing your stress a lot. But if you're ready to do a build period, then you probably want that up at somewhere between a 4, a 5, and different people can handle different amounts of ramp. If you ramp up too much, if you ramp up to an 8 or something, that's more than almost all riders can handle. Maybe if you're 20, you don't have a job, you're genetically gifted, then maybe an 8 is okay. But for most people, a 5 or a 6 is really an optimum number. And that comes from the concept of something that Joe Friel presented and Training Peaks presented. Our ramp rate isn't exactly like theirs, but it's very close, and it aligns fairly well. The lower numbers, we do something kind of unique to give you more plan options. So once you've got your starting hours set and you've got your ending hours set, so we started at, let's just say right now at 3.9, we end up at 8.5 at the end. Then you're going to hit your peak period, and you really want to kind of dedicate these last 2 months. It's like, okay, this is the period of the year that I'm really going to do the most I possibly can to maximize my benefits. So once we have those set, we make sure that we've got the right plan. You can kind of click around, see which one makes the most sense to you. If you really want to get faster, we're recommending the Serious Italian, and I'll go into more details into that later. You can also set your plan length. Make sure your training days are optimized for you. If you're doing 4 days a week, this tends to be a good pattern for people: Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, especially if you've got weekends to do longer rides. So you can see here it says best days for long rides. And then you can see down here, you can see your workouts, and you can change anything in real time and just see how it affects your plan. You can increase these sliders. So if I increase so here I start with a 35-minute and a 32-minute and a 1 hour and 30-minute. But if I increase those hours, you can see that it goes from 56 to, it increases those hours, right? So you can see that all in real time. You can change your days in real time. I took off the long ride, so this day just shortened. Now I could take it off completely, and and you can see it disappeared. And let's see. And then the final value is this starting intensity level. Generally, we recommend everybody, if you haven't been doing a lot of intervals lately, or you're kind of starting a build period, we recommend everybody starting at 1. That doesn't matter if you're a pro or you're a beginner. You can start at 1, and it's going to feel easy. Our plans are different than other people's, and I'm going to create another video to explain the benefits there, as well as do an interview with the top coach that will explain the concept behind that. And And then once, but you can increase it. And when you increase it, you can see here that, let's shorten this a little bit and it makes it more obvious. So when we calling this a threshold, really this first threshold series is actually just there's a warm up with like a 30-second, and then there's actually just a 1-minute threshold effort, which is easy for basically everybody. And it's comfortable and it's, let's say, reasonably enjoyable. I mean, if you like killing yourself, it's probably maybe not that fun. And then as you get towards the end, you can see then you have more and more. And if we get up here to 15, let's go even farther. So let's create this starting at 4. Let's go back to here. Now you can see we actually have like a 3-minute interval. So that starts at like 3-minute threshold. And I know for many people, they'll think, what, this isn't even training. But trust me, there is a different philosophy out there that you can get as much benefit and potentially even more benefit by doing shorter sessions, but doing the right sessions, right? And again, I'll go into that in a later video. So, but then we get up here and we get into number 18, and these get into, I think it's 2 4-minute intervals. So you end up with 8 minutes of threshold, which starts to be, if you've gone through all 16 weeks, it's not too bad. I mean, it's still intense, threshold is threshold, and it's not, especially indoors, is not particularly always enjoyable. But it gets into something more reasonable, and there is kind of a progression. It's a Z2, Z3, Z4 progression to get to that threshold. So now we've got our plan, and we click on send weeks 1 to 4 to TrainerDay. So this is much faster. The other benefit is that you can do the first 4 weeks, try it out, see how you like it. And if you need to, you can come back for the next 4 weeks. And if you have to, you can increase the intensity a little bit or modify your days or whatever. And then you're not dealing with moving those workouts all around. If you got to move 16 workouts, 16 weeks of workouts around, that's a huge amount of work. And so dealing with 4 weeks at a time or 1 month at a time, you just come in, you click 4 weeks, then you can come back in here, and I can show you that later. You can come back and create the next 4 weeks, and you can do that. And we'll even start doing that automatically very soon. If you do 1 through 4, it will send you an email and ask you if you want to create the next one. So I'll go ahead and create weeks 1 through 4 here. So here I have weeks 1 through 4. Now they are in the TrainerDay plan editor. Now you can move workouts around. You can do whatever you want with it. You've got your basic structure down. One thing I didn't show them in the last one is the 4th week is always a recovery week. So we drop the threshold, we reduce the intensity of the stress and the hours a little bit. But you can move anything around, you can do what you want with it. And the other thing you can do is then you can send it somewhere. You can use it. So you can send it to Training Peaks, you can send it to Garmin, to intervals. You can set the schedule at which where you want it to start in that plan. And it's something reusable if you want, although with Coach Jack, you can always, come in and generate a new one, and we're going to keep enhancing this. So next year, I'm sure that Jack will be even better than he is this year. But we're quite happy with it though. So you can send it, or you can download it if you want to manually load those workouts into another training platform. You can, or you can click on Edit Plan, and you can say, add it to my mobile app. And so then when you log into our mobile app, you'll actually have this plan available for you to use. You also can send it to Training Peaks, and if you want to manage a calendar there and use it inside of our app still, or send it to Intervals ICU and use it inside our app still. So anyway, so that's if you want to send it use it inside our app. And that's it. Thank you very much.